I don't think anybody can feel any worse than I do about all of the death and destruction that's so needless. Nobody. But I also have to make sure that we handle the situation well. Nobody's thinking about it more. Nobody has spent more time late in the evening thinking about what's happened to this country in a short period of time.
And we had hundreds of calls come into our emergency hotline at our health department asking if it was right to ingest Clorox or alcohol cleaning products, whether that was going to help them fight the virus. So we had to put out that warning to make sure that people were not doing something like that, which would kill people, actually, to do it.
Task Force is now asking all Americans to voluntarily wear non-medical face coverings while out in public, the bold step announced by the president a short time ago.
They can be either purchased online or simply made at home. These face coverings can be easily washed or reused.
Your vice president, who today was the only one at the Mayo Clinic seen not wearing a mask, touring COVID wards and testing facilities at a huge hospital, no mask.
Wearing a mask prevents you from spreading the disease, and knowing that he doesn't have COVID-19, he didn't wear one. It was actually after he left Mayo Clinic that he found out that they had a policy of asking everyone to wear a mask. So, someone who's worked on this this whole task force for over 2 months is not someone who would have done anything to offend anyone or hurt anyone or scare anyone.
The clinic posted that it has, quote, informed the vice president of the masking policy prior to his arrival today. That post was since taken down.
Welcome. Yeah, we don't have our masks, but we're at home. So
yeah,
we don't have to wear a mask at home. If I was touring something, let's say like the Mayo Clinic, I'd probably have a mask.
Did you wear a mask to the beach last weekend?
I didn't go to the beach last weekend. I wouldn't go near the beach. Did you see those pictures?
Man, talk about COVIDiots, man.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, that is a new term, isn't it?
Yeah, that's just
COVIDiots.
A bad decision, bro. That was just a bad decision.
My goodness, and
I get the weather's getting nice and it's getting better out.
I know, but
still.
Well, but why did that happen in the first place? I mean, I guess there's a difference that I'm seeing because I'm following New York very closely,
right?
Because it's the epicenter. And I mean, Cuomo comes on and he lays it all out. And then he basically says, look, if you want to reopen, it's got to be, you have to have no more than 70% occupied beds. You've got to have a 30% buffer. You've got to have this infection. You've got to have this. You've got to have that.
Right.
You've got to submit a plan. And you've got to, I mean, yes, he's being a bit of a dictator, but you have to be in this situation, and I see Newsom not quite doing that. Do you?
Well, Newsom's kind of just doing this half-ass. You might want to consider this. Hey, maybe you want to. Maybe we should all parents. You should consider your kids aren't going back to school until August or September. What does that mean? You got to say schools are closed till August or September. I mean, we finally got there, but he's dancing around every point. Gun stores. He never officially said if they were essential or not. That's the issue.
Yeah.
That not the gun stores themselves, but his decision making
process. We breed a lot of kind of politicians like that, actually, in California. I know, Kamala's a little like that too. She's never quite out there, clear,
right.
And it seems to be a certain style. Maybe it's the laid back style of California.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Feinstein's a little like that too. I mean, it's just kind of.
Well, you could go back to pre-impeachment when Pelosi was doing he should be in jail, but I don't know where I stand on impeachment
Yeah.
kind of thing. Nobody would take a definitive stand.
No, no. And of course, if we want to look at the premier, example of not taking a stand, it's the orange Buddha or whatever the heck he is.
Good line, man. Good.
I don't know. No, he's nothing like a Buddha, but Buddha was a pretty cool guy, actually. But I read Siddhartha. That's how I know. So he was pretty neat. But anyway, he lays out. He has the White House lay out gating criteria. Right? It sounds great, doesn't it? Gating criteria. All of these phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. You got to meet this in a 2-week period.
Right,
and
right.
These 3 things have to happen. But have to happen? No. That's how it was presented. Now it turns out to be, kind of a thought that we have that, you might want to look at, but you don't really have to. And, take a look at these things, see if they interest you. It's cool if they don't, kind of just go with it, and because we're not going to tell you what to do. And
they're just suggestions.
What is that about? We're in a crisis and we need freaking leadership.
We need real leadership.
God, yes.
By the way, this is water. It's not disinfectant.
Yes. I know. And you look like you're laid back. You're kind of in that side of the kind of.
I am, man. I'm just chilling. I'm not sweating anything, man. I'm chilling. I'm at the house.
Yeah.
Or it's good. Sheila's good. Nobody here is infected with it.
That's good.
Anything, and I'm not going outside. This is real easy for me to tell you the truth because I don't need to go outside.
Well, it's interesting. I was watching the governor of Colorado, Jared Polis, who's a Democrat. And so I'm gonna see. I'm even-handed. I can say nasty things about all parties, but he was kind of driving me a little nuts because it was like we're gonna reopen and we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that, But when you really drilled down, actually, it wasn't terrible. I mean, what he said was, we're not gonna reopen the Denver metro area at all.
Yep.
And then he said we're gonna open businesses, but with social distancing at 25% capacity. He meant offices, industrial and offices. And frankly, I don't think offices are hurting all that much right now. Do you?
No, that's not where the issue is.
I really don't think so. I think the issue is certainly it's in manufacturing. And of course, the president did a great thing. He used finally the Defense Production Act.
Wow.
Basically used it to shield meatpacking plants
right.
from liability.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't lay down any rules.
Plan.
He said they have to remain open. They're essential. But again, he didn't lay down any rules other than to say that we'll make it so that people can't sue you. What is that?
In California, the big issue is going to be opening restaurants. It's not going to be manufacturing. It will be restaurants. How do we open entertainment centers? That's
right.
where that's what we're going to have to deal with here.
That's right. That's right. And, it's a problem. It really is. What I want to do, and I know we want to go to the local in a minute or two, but what I want to do, a little something different. And you don't have to do this. This is kind of a friendly suggestion, just a thought. But what I'd like to see is, I want you out there to share some stories with us.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it this week, maybe next week,
Right.
I'm being like Trump right now. You noticed I'm not saying you have to do anything.
Tremendous.
But if you send us comments on Facebook, we'd really like to know how this is affecting you.
Yeah.
Do you have cabin fever?
Yeah.
Is it a very difficult thing? How is it affecting your livelihood? Have you been able to file for unemployment? Have you been able to get one of those great, extra relief checks that they keep bragging about? Has anyone that you know been affected with COVID-19? And God forbid, have you been, or your near family? But it would be great to share those stories with us. And
And how are you spending your time? What are you reading? What are you watching?
how are you spending your
Yeah.
time? I just started a new binge.
What is
I'm
it?
binging Mr. Robot. And
Which
I'm in
one?
Mr. Robot.
Oh, I love that show, man.
And I'm now in the final season, so don't tell me, because I
I'm not.
just started the final season. But yeah, I
All
had
right.
started to watch like the first 2 seasons and then kind of didn't. And I can't figure out why I stopped, because it's really a terrific show. So
It's an amazing show.
yeah,
Amazing show.
it is. And I really enjoyed that. And we have a new member of the NewsRap family who we should greet, and that is Nikolai Hodgson.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Who was born
Nikolai.
very recently.
what's
Nikolai,
up?
welcome to the NewsRap family. We wish you, we don't have a picture. Hopefully we will next week. We want to put a picture up. And I think we should go to the local. We can
Let's check
still
it out.
wrap afterwards, but let's go to the local. Yeah.
This is your local news brief for Friday, May 1st, 2020. Pasadena now reports 406 confirmed COVID-19 cases in the city of Pasadena, with a related death toll of 50. On Wednesday, April 29th, a total of 6 deaths were confirmed, making it the city's highest single-day death total. All Los Angeles County residents are eligible for free COVID-19 testing. The only requirement is proof of living in the county. Recently, FEMA announced a $31 million grant for Los Angeles County COVID-19 testing sites. More information on how to sign up for a free test can be found at covid19.lacounty.org. On Wednesday, April 29th, Pasadena day laborers and supporters participated in a car caravan protest at City Hall. The protest was against the lack of financial protection for workers during the pandemic. Pasadenans Organizing for Progress member Ed Washatka is quoted in a Pasadena Now article as saying, "The city cannot exist without immigrant workers, the essential workers, whether they're working in hospitals or hotels or in restaurants. Washington has excluded them. In Pasadena, they must be included." Pasadena City College, or PCC, has received roughly $7.6 million from the CARES Act. The CARES Act is a federal stimulus package in response to COVID-19. PCC is expecting to receive a total of $15.2 million. About 5,500 current students will receive grants ranging from $500 to $1,000, depending on their individual financial situation and course load. The grants will aid in food emergencies, housing, healthcare, and more. PCC Superintendent and President Erica Androgianis is quoted in a Pasadena Now article as saying, "We know that this emergency has upended people's lives in ways that continue to deeply affect our community. We hope this lifeline can help folks who need it most." Pasadena Congresswoman Judy Chu sent a letter to House leaders seeking the inclusion of labor unions in funds distributed by the CARES Act, and more specifically, the Paycheck Protection Program. In the letter, Chu explains that the goal of the CARES Act is to help workers weather economic effects of the crisis. Chu cites the Bureau of Labor Statistics in an estimate of 14.6 million hard-working Americans that aren't eligible because of their participation in unions. Several unions have sent a letter to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Senate Minority Leader Charles Schumer, and Senate Banking Committee Ranking Member Sherrod Brown requesting further protections for workers in aid packages moving forward.
All right. What are the numbers right now? 406? Is that what you were telling me before we went on the air?
So 406 cases, 406 people have been tested and confirmed positive
Yeah.
for the COVID-19 virus. And 50 people, and this is as of close of business yesterday, 50 people have died in town.
That's more than a doubling in a week, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we had two grim records.
We were under 200. We were under 200 when we were on the air last Friday. As I recall,
That's
we were
about right.
around 190, something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
We had a couple of grim records this week too, because yesterday there were 8 reported deaths, which was the most in a day. And on Thursday there were 6 reported deaths, and that was the most in a day previous to Friday. So those kind of markers are ones you don't want to see.
No.
You know, you don't want to continuously break those records. You know, you want to see, because last week it was the opposite. We had in 3 days only 2 deaths. We had one day where there was 0 deaths, zero fatalities, and one death sandwiched in. You know.
Well, see, that's where I'm getting confused, because it seems to me like California hasn't peaked yet.
Oh, not at all.
And yet everyone's talking about how we're so flat and we're so decline and all of this. And I went back and I looked at Friday news shows that I still had on my TiVo.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back 2 weeks, and California was around 23,000. And then I went back last week, and California was around 39,000. And then I looked this week, and it's at 52,000. Now, maybe some of that is because we're doing a lot more testing. I hope that's the reason, but it's not good.
But testing doesn't cause people to get the virus. The testing just reveals who has the virus, so that person can be quarantined. So those numbers should go down going forward. But this is my point.
Yeah, but that would increase, though. In other words,
of course, we would find more people.
Increase the number of reported cases.
Right.
I wish that we were looking more at what Cuomo's looking at, which is he keeps talking about the number of new hospitalizations per day.
Well, and the thing I
don't know what that number is for the state of California or for Pasadena or for anybody.
From a reporter's point of view, also, what I'd like to have included is when were these people tested? Is there still a backlog? Are we discovering cases from 2 weeks ago when people were tested?
Right.
Or is there longer a backlog and it's just, okay, this person was tested on Tuesday and we found out today, kind of thing. So a lot of that plays into it, kind of thing. And early on, I also had even requested at one point that they tell us if people were tested before the order or after the order. But that was in March when I wanted that information, so we could see how is the order impacting this kind of thing.
I know there's a lot of unknowns, and I kind of wish that Newsom was a little more communicative. I wish he was doing a daily briefing, or but he kind of, I run across it every once in a while. And by the way, where I run across it is on Channel 1, which is Spectrum News. Excuse me, but you can't catch it. It's okay. But I don't. But I'm not seeing that kind of regular communication.
The city, Pasadena, they have a dashboard on their website where you can really kind of go see a breakdown of the numbers. As we report this, what I try to do is on Thursdays, I try to go back to the previous Thursday and see where we were then, to kind of get an idea of, okay, so what's a snapshot? What's happened in a week here?
Right.
Have the numbers gone up in a week? Are we soaring? Are we slowly moving up? Or what do you call this week by week? Which I think that's important, and that's a good way to really look at the numbers. But keep in mind, LA County, it's fatality count.
Yeah. We do have a comment from our wonderful friend in New Jersey, Sarah.
Oh.
And Sarah says, we're getting by okay here. My husband already works from home, so his job isn't affected. I'm home with our 2 kids and trying to homeschool my 7-year-old. Lots of luck, Sarah.
Yeah, man.
Unfortunately, we do already know someone who passed
Oh, wow.
from COVID complications. My husband's coworker, who was only 40 years old.
Sad to hear.
Goodness, I'm so sorry. Really sorry. Again, this assumption that this is just an old person's disease, it just isn't accurate. It
Well,
just,
people keep, if these young people keep going to the beach, we're going to find out it's not in
that's right.
tragic ways, which I hope we don't find out.
That's right.
But I will say this to Sarah, trying to homeschool an 11-year-old. So I feel you on that all the way, man. I feel you on that.
So how are you guys? How do you do that? I mean, are you learning? Is most of it online and you can just guide them through, or what? How are you?
Well, they go to
guys
Zoom
doing?
meetings. At least Lauren does. She goes to a Zoom meeting, with her classmates every day. And then she goes to 2, one for homeroom, and then she does another one for her math class. And they get all their assignments and they get to ask all their questions that way. Problem is, man, 30 kids who aren't getting outside enough in one video chat.
Yeah.
I mean, our teachers probably need a really fat bonus when this is over. Let me put it to you that way. And after that, we try to guide her through it and help her with the work as much as possible. But a lot of times I'm trying to work myself from home as it's going on. So.
And is that a private school or a public school, Greg?
That's public. Public.
Well, they're not going to get a bonus. In fact, they may not get probably anything because of Trump's position on reimbursing state and local governments, because you know where it has to come out of, right? I mean, what he's not taking into consideration at all is the fact that almost all states, I think 49 states, have balanced budget requirements. And the states cannot run deficits like the federal government. Right. They have to balance their budget at some point. And the fact that he has the gall, and it really angers me, to say, well, yeah, we'll talk about it, but we've got to get something for it. And the something might be what? Getting rid of the sanctuary city concept, or what? I mean, what does he want? Right now, he wants blood from a stone. That's what he wants, because these governments are hurting. And the fact that he and McConnell and all the rest of them just don't recognize that is really disgusting. And another reason why we have to get rid of this guy in November. It's not even a partisan thing anymore. We've got to get
it's a necessity.
We have to get rid of evil, and we have to get rid of incompetence, and we have to get rid of this way of thinking where he sees everything through a personal lens, and we've got to do something about it.
You see, now's the time, now's the time.
Thank you, Sarah, for sharing that, by the way. I just wanted to say that, and then I know Dre, but I really want to thank you for sharing that. And if anyone else has comments, please let us know, because I know this can't be easy for anybody who's watching.
No,
so
not at all.
Although Dre says it's easy for him, except for the homeschooling part. But I'm too old to homeschool. So
I'll say this: it's easy for me to stay home. I'm not somebody tripping to run back outside.
Yeah.
But what's hard for me is, come on, man, my mom is almost 90.
Right. That's right.
And she lives alone. And I don't, we talk on the phone every day, and she talks to my sister and my 2 other brothers, but I don't want to run up there, because even just going to get gasoline from the gas station, I don't want to catch something and take it up to her.
But when you say she lives alone, how is she handling being alone right now?
Oh, she's doing fine. She's talking to all of her kids all the time, every day. I mean,
how is she getting?
My sister takes her groceries.
Okay.
We stocked her up really, really well before the orders started.
So enough toilet paper then?
More than enough. I mean, my brother Greg has taken probably 100 rolls over there at a time, to tell you the truth.
Good.
And my sister spends some time there when she can, because my sister's a teacher. So
Mhm.
the weekends, my sister's probably there right now. But I don't want to go. She doesn't need everybody there. You know what I mean?
Right.
After this is over, we'll all get together. We'll have dinner. We'll celebrate that when it's time. But right now, it's we need to make sure that everybody is safe in the family.
Yeah. I know.
So yeah, that part of it. Not seeing family, not doing a show live is even hard for me. But I don't need to go to the beach. I don't need to run out for the entertainment stuff. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's easy for me to stay home and avoid that stuff.
Oh, do I miss theater?
I bet you do. Well, that's
I'm
who you are, though.
Such a theater junkie. I really, really miss theater. There are a few things. They've been doing some live streams of some plays and some things. Yeah, they have been doing a few things, and there's a service called there's a subscription service called Broadway HD. So I can watch Sunday in the Park or Pippin or something.
Now is Parsons Knowles doing any of that?
Well, not yet. I mean, what they're doing is that Lance and Mary did an audio podcast of a lovely children's play called Wind in the Willows, which we know
Send me a
is
link if they do another
Mr.
one.
Toad. It's Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, but it was originally British, and it's Wind in the Willows.
Send me a link if.
Yeah, it's right on the website, parsonsknows.com. It's right there.
Great idea.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what has been amazing is watching creative people through this process, because my friends that are creative, they have the attitude that I do. They're like, you know what? I don't need to rush back out for entertainment. I have so many projects I want to get done anyway.
That's true.
And they're finding what to be creative. And that's probably you too, because I know you have that creative all up and down through you.
Yeah.
But those that are bored and depressed and those things, I understand that, and I feel for those people. And hopefully they have family or friends or somebody they can reach out to and speak to.
I know. Well, we're going to get through this.
Yeah.
And we see the idiots with guns in Michigan, and we see the idiots in Newport Beach, the COVID idiots, as you so well called them. But the fact is, we're gonna get through this, because so many people are helping us get through this, and from leaders, really good leaders, to every person who's been following the rules and doing what they have to do. And we have to be proud. I think this is a moment of being proud for America overall. It would be great if we had someone in the White House who we could be equally proud of. But we don't. So we'll get through this, on our own, because that's basically where he's left us all. That's how we'll do it.
Yeah, we'll make it through. I mean, it'll be all right, but I think that the thing that's important for people to remember is you decide when you reopen. They can reopen every business in the world, but you decide when you reopen. And
exactly.
I'll go out when I'm ready to do it. I'll decide.
Well, there's a story about that, which I can't go into now, but it has to do with the mall reopenings, because the malls have contracts saying that businesses have to reopen.
Yeah, but the people don't have to show up.
Well, they don't, but it's going to cost the businesses a lot. Anyway, I think that's probably it for us.
All right, man.
Next week, and send comments even when we're off the air, because we really want to know how you guys are handling all of this. And we will be with you again. I miss doing the show live too, but we will be with you again. I'm Barry Gordon.
I'm Andre Coleman.
And this has been NewsRap, live at 5.
Stay off the beach this weekend.
Absolutely.
Help us out.
Be safe, be healthy.